Hello. Um, I'm a great supporter of the rights to own firearms in the UK. I'm a member of Callum's English Shooting, and he comes across as a bit more of an intelligent, clear speaking voice for the English shooting sport. But I live in Thailand, and I've got easy accesses to licensed firearms. I might look like a bit of a nutcase, and I have in the past, been into some fights and scraps, and I've always had guns, firearms, 9mm, 38s, you know, accessible to me, and I've never ever used them out of anger. They're just purely used for self-defense because I believe each man's castle is his home, and he's got every right to protect his home, his family, his wife, his assets. England, with the exemption of Northern Ireland, with a terror threat going up, in Northern Ireland you can carry a concealed firearm under Section 5, which is more easily given out, and you're allowed to defend yourself with that concealed firearm. Now, you've got to remember, Northern Ireland have been living under terrorism for many, many years, and now there's a ceasefire, and I think there was a case of I'm not sure was it Northern Ireland or in London where there was there was a terrorist attack, and I think it was in London. Some of the Section 5 license to carry a concealed weapon, a private citizen, actually took down one of the terrorists. This was a legal, law-abiding citizen. They do give out Section 5 licenses for UK citizens, but they're very, very, very rare. So I know that English have got this mentality that, if it doesn't affect me, then what the fuck do I care? Which is a shame, really, because I think there's about 5,000 members of this promoting English shooting community, and to be able to get your voices heard in Parliament and to stand up to the big boys, you need more than that. I just want people that are out there to stand up for your rights. You might not even want to buy a gun. You might not even want to have one in your house. But, is that really a reason to stop everyone else not having it? I mean, there's a lot of nutcases around, and I'm no doubt that, in case of domestic violence and stuff like that, there will be occasionally people using firearms if they're easier to access to hurt their the partners and stuff. But these things still happen. People cut up their wives and beat them black and blue. And there's a case the other day with this woman. She stabbed her boyfriend to death. I mean, like about 18 times or something. Someone I know also attempted to murder her boyfriend with a piece of mirror glass. I'm not saying that we should turn into an American state or somewhere like that, but there's other countries like Switzerland and all that which is the second highest private owners of guns in the world, and they got no crime at all. In the world where the terrorism is going up, our private citizens need to feel more secure. I mean, I know that there's a chances of terrorists getting their hands on guns, but I mean they're trying to class a Mars rifle, which has got it's not rapid fire, but it's more accessible under law to be able to buy than what they're trying to make it. They're trying to make it into a Section 5, which is that on par with a handgun, and handguns are pretty much banned in England, because they said it's too similar to an AK-47, and a Mars rifle. Basically, you shoot it, and then the slider goes back, it reloads, and then I think basically you get 2 shots for each shot, and they're worried that could fall into a terrorist hands, even though because it's too similar to an AK-47, which it isn't, because terrorists, let's face it, if you can look at the amount of drugs that are coming into England every day. Do you not think that every drug dealer's tooled up? If I was a terrorist and I wanted to smuggle a weapon of rapid fire into the country, I would not be going for the Mars. I'd be going for an AK-47. Saying that, England has a tendency to ban everything that could be remotely dangerous, or the moment somebody's used an object to harm someone and it hits the news, just ban it without even thinking about it. Just ban it. Does that make the public feel safer? No. Everything's got a good side and a bad side. Even that belt there, the belt on the floor. There's a belt on the floor there. That's got a good side and a bad side. I mean, how many people have hung themselves with fucking belts, or hung somebody else, or whipped someone with them? But they also used to keep your trousers up. So we're going to do ban belts. It's problem is, it's like this very British thing to be anti-guns, but like they say, one thing I do agree with the Americans, it's better to have and not need than need and not have. I know plenty of nutcases which probably shouldn't get their hands on firearms. I know plenty of law-abiding middle-class citizens who are completely defenceless in the arms of criminals, and in fact they're picked on by criminals because they don't know the law too well, because they're not criminals themselves, and the mentality is because look at him, he wants to be middle class, I bet he's got a bit of dough, let's fucking rob him, fucking pussy cunt. I bet that would happen less if people were packing, but I know houses will get robbed and weapons will be taken. And I've seen some stuff in places like Tottenham. The police had a gang under surveillance for months, and they were basically knocking on people's doors, about 17 of them. As soon as they open the door, they all just walk in, take the car keys, drive off. They saw a car like them, they drive, and they're going in and out the estate with Audis, Mercedes, anything. They're like 17-year-old kids. I bet they wouldn't do that if one of those houses they were packing. I'm pretty sure those people were tooled up as well anyway. But at least you wouldn't have to feel worried about shooting someone in your own house when they come in masked on the front door. I just hope that also there's. I think England needs to go back in time. There's a lot of arguments that could be settled with fisticuffs. The old boxing booths in the old days, where people challenge someone, and there's a referee there, and make sure no one doesn't die, and doesn't stamp on their heads when they hit the ground. The moment criminals are running wild in England, and normal citizens have no chances of any defence unless they become criminals themselves. And that means, they've got to make a choice. Do I let this person mug me off, or do I fight back and risk losing my job as a dentist, or wherever I've worked half my life to be? It shouldn't be like that, man. People should respect you for what you've done, the hard work you've done, to get to where you are. Not respect you because you're a fucking chav and you hang around like a pack of wolves, just acting big. What you should do is just rob people which have got a bit more better money than you that fucking earns it. You know, if you want to make money from real crime, then fair enough. But real criminals, they don't really mug old ladies and, you know, and storm people in the streets. You know, they've got their target sets on bigger things, and they always will do, and always have done. And they're not interested in normal people like, you know, these middle class families. They're interested in the trade they're in. In fact, if anything, this terrorism and stuff like that brings more heat onto them. I don't think they like that sort of stuff. Anyway, I hope I'll get some like comments. I'll probably get a lot of dislike comments, a lot of piss-taking comments, but I don't give a fuck. Alright, good night.